So this week we're talking about the Olympics since it happened last Friday and it's continued on. Let me know if this loads. Okay. So this year or like this time, it's going to be it was at Tokyo in 2020, even though it is 2021. And the timeline is from July 23rd to August 8th. The Paralympics, which is for paralyzed people, for like disabled people, is from August 4th to December 5th, and it's originally scheduled to take place from 24th July to the August 9th of 2020, but because of COVID, it was postponed in March 2020. And this is the first time the Olympic Games have been postponed and rescheduled rather than canceled. And it's held largely behind closed doors with no public spectators permitted out of the state of emergency. Because Tokyo's COVID rates are going in a spike right now, Tokyo and the Olympic community make sure to keep like all the athletes safe when they still have to wear a mask, etc. So the delayed 2020 Summer Olympics opening ceremony took place on July 23rd, 2021 at the Olympic Stadium, Tokyo. The welcoming speeches, the hoisting of the flags, and the parade of athletes with an artistic spectacle showcased the host nation's culture and history. The vast majority of the showcase was pre-recorded. The theme of the Olympic ceremony is moving forward, which is referencing the COVID-19 global pandemic, with the opening ceremony theme being the Tokyo 2020 slogan, United by Emotion, which the organizer intended to reaffirm the role of sport and the value of the Olympic Games. So the Olympic community will award medals across 339 events and represent 33 different sports. 5 are new sports entirely: baseball, softball, skateboarding, surfing, sport climbing, and karate.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about one sport section in this Olympic game, which is archery. So what is archery? Archery is an activity where you shoot an arrow from a ball. So a ball is, you can see on the screen. And this activity and the ball is one of the oldest activities and weapons of humankind known to be developed in the Upper Paleolithic. It was developed independently in different cultures and times. Archery traditionally was used for hunting and fighting. And today you might see archery as a sport as well. So it is even in the Olympics today too. So let's see archery in Olympics this year. How does archery work in the Olympics? Its goal was to shoot arrows as close to the center of a target as possible. So at the top right corner, you can see the target. And the basic rule of this sport game is that Olympic archery targets are 122 centimeters in diameter with a series of 10 concentric scoring rings separated into 5 colors. The inner color, the gold, scores 10 or 9 points. Archers shoot at a target from a distance of 70 meters. And the archery this year happened from July 23rd to July 31st. And the competition format this year, I think it is kind of different from previous years, because at Tokyo 2020, athletes will compete in men's and women's individual events, men's and women's team events, and also mixed team events. The mixed team event is a new addition to the Olympic program. And then you can see the schedule for the archery this year. If you are interested in archery, or any other sports for Tokyo 2020 Olympic Games, you can feel free to search it online or just Google it.
Okay, so this is artistic gymnastics. The scoring is, there's the D score, which shows difficulty, and it starts from 0. And so the harder the like gymnastic move in connections, the more points that the gymnast gets. And then there's the E score, which is execution, which is like how well they perform. It starts from 10, and every time you make a mistake, you lose like a point. And it's really important to get the correct like angles and, you know, getting through everything without making a mistake or falling. And finally sticking the landing when you jump off. There's also neutral deductions, which is like other violations, which includes going like out of the bounds or going over time. And so the final score is when you add the D score and the E score, and then subtract any neutral deductions. So there's multiple events. There's the team competition, which is for men and women. There's the individual competition for men and women. And then there's the floor exercise, the pommel horse, uneven bars, rings, the balance beam, the vault, the parallel bars, and the horizontal bars.
Okay, so I can talk about this skateboarding Olympics. So it's the first time skateboard will ever be a sport down in the Olympics. And there are 16 skaters who are conformed to compete. And this skateboard game is graded on tricks performed, and it's also graded on a 0 to 10 scale, which includes 3 judges give a score, and points given are the average of the score. Japan's Yuto Horigoma, I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, won first gold medal for skateboarding.
Okay, I will do rock climbing. So rock climbing is basically a sport where people climb up walls by using the shapes or blobs on the wall. And the goal is to make it to the top without falling. So there's 3 things that they watch. So the first is speed climbing, and this is when there is a tall wall and the goal is to reach the top of the wall as fast as possible. 2 climbers compete at the same time, and whoever reaches the top first advances and basically wins the competition. Bouldering is another form of rock climbing. So this is where the wall is very short and wide, and the entire route is also very short. The climbers have to find a way to get to the top as fast as possible, since they lose points for every attempt they use. If the climber isn't able to finish the route within 4 minutes, they're scored based on the highest point they reached. Lead climbing is the last type of inform. It's the highest wall, and the difficulty of the rock climbing will get harder as the route goes on. So the participants just climb until they fall off, and whoever reaches the highest point on the wall wins. So these are photos of all 3. So speed climbing is on the very left and lead climbing is on the very right. Alan, do you want to take this section?
Yeah, I can do this. So this is artistic swimming. And so basically there's, I think this is for women only, and It's in teams, and there's 5 designated movements, which are each which last 2 minutes and 50 seconds. And so basically each team is from a different country, and they use music from their own culture. And so artistic swimming came into the Olympics in 1984. And the USA and Canada were the 2 best teams when it first came out. But now the European countries are getting more and more competitive, and in Asia, the teams are also pretty successful. So this year at the Tokyo 2021 Olympics, there was 104 athletes for artistic swimming, and it's one of the only 2 only women events at the Olympics. And the Russian swimmers actually won 9 out of 10 gold medals at the 2019 World Championships. And they won every single gold medal at the last 5 Olympic Games. So the Russians are pretty good at artistic swimming, I guess. And so some of the teams that are competing are Italy, Spain, Greece, Japan, Egypt, Canada, Australia, China, Ukraine, and the Russians.
All right, so I'll be talking about basketball. So, what is basketball? I think you guys all know what basketball is. Basketball is a team sport in which there's 2 teams, most commonly of 5 players on each team. Where opposing one another on a rectangular court, they will compete with the primary objective of shooting the basketball through the defender's hoop while preventing the opposing team from shooting through their own hoop. So a field goal is worth 2 points unless made from behind the 3-point line, which is then it would be worth 3 points. And there are things called fouls, which are where a time play stops and the player fouled or designated to shoot a technical foul is given one. 2 or 3 1-point free throws are given to that player. The team with the most points at the end of the game wins, but if the score is tied, overtime is mandated. So basketball at the Summer Olympics has been a common sport for men consistently since 1936. The US is by far the most successful country in Olympic basketball, with United States men's teams having won 15 of 18 tournaments, including 7 consecutive titles from 1936 through 1968. United States women's teams have also won a lot, so they won 8 titles out of the 10 tournaments in which they competed, including 6 in a row from 1996 to 2016.
Okay, thank you for listening to our presentation. Are there any